Welcome back to the Unveiled Mind, my beautiful curiosities. Today we're peeling back the layers on a holiday that isn't just barbecue invite. It's a national reckoning wrapped in red velvet cake and resilience. Buckle up because we're talking Juneteenth, the day freedom finally showed up, fashionably late to the party. We're going to start with the basics and the history. Juneteenth marks June 19th, 1865, when Union General Gordon Granger rolled into Galveston, Texas, and he announced, "Hey, y'all, slavery's been over for 2 years." The Emancipation Proclamation had been signed in 1863, but thanks to the defiant Confederates and spotty communication, enslaved Black people in Texas were still picking cotton under the delusion that the South had actually won. The delayed liberation wasn't about slow mail. It was calculated act of defiance. Texas, geographically isolated and politically hostile, became a refuge for slaveholders fleeing Union advances in other states. Plantation owners dragged enslaved people westward, turning Texas into a last bastion of forced labor. Even after Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered in April 65, local officials and militia suppressed the news, buying time for one last harvest season. Granger's arrival with 2,000 federal troops finally forced compliance, but the backlash was swift. Some enslavers withheld food, wages, and even violently resisted providing emancipation with a process, not a single event. Juneteenth's legacy grew organically from the Black community's resilience. Freed people pooled resources to buy land for celebrations like Houston's Emancipation Park in 1872, turning June 19th into a day of cookouts, sermons, and voter registration drives. Early observances faced white hostility. Segregation laws pushed festivities to rural areas or hidden groves. Yet by the 1920s, Juneteenth had spread to neighboring cities carried by Black immigrants during the Great Migration. It waned during civil rights era as activists focused on federal victories, but the 1970s saw a revival with Texas making it a state holiday in 1980. Today's national recognition reflects centuries of Black insistence. Joy is resistance, memory is power. And Juneteenth isn't just a Black history, it's American history. The kind that makes some people clutch their pearls and whisper, "Can we just move on?" No, Karen, we fucking can't. We can't move on. The echoes for the delay still reverberating in redline neighborhoods, voter suppression, and the fact that sundown towns weren't a Twilight Zone episode. They were real. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why isn't it taught in schools with the same enthusiasm as, say, the Pilgrims with their questionable corn etiquette? Because America loves a progress narrative but hates the receipts. Juneteenth isn't just Black history. It's, again, American history. Freedom didn't mean equality. Freedmen's towns sprang up. Black Wall Streets flourished, but white backlash was instant and violent. Juneteenth celebrations were banned in some states. Others whitewashed the day into emancipation picnics, devoid of politics. The holiday survived underground, carried by Black families through Jim Crow, the civil rights movement, and the 90s push for federal recognition. A 150-year fight for truth too many want buried. So when someone asks why we still talk about slavery, hand them a calendar and a spine. Juneteenth, though, isn't just a celebration. It's a middle finger to despair. It's cookouts, strawberry soda, and ancestors dancing in the sunlight of hard-worn joy. So how do we honor it? How do we, as non-person of color, honor this? I've thought about this and thought about this as I've gone through everything on Juneteenth that I could find. And I feel like I've broken it down into some simple steps for those of us that are not persons of color and want to be helpful during this time. The biggest thing I could say is Juneteenth is not just a discount mattress sale. You have to read, watch, amplify Black voices, not just today, but always. And it starts with education. Before you celebrate Juneteenth, understand it. Read about General Order Number 3, the delayed emancipation in Texas, and why freedom didn't mean equality. Dive into books like The Warmth of the Other Suns or Juneteenth, a novel, not to perform wokeness, but to listen to Black narratives without centering your own guilt. Amplify, don't appropriate. This isn't your holiday. It's a celebration of Black liberation. So step back and uplift Black voices. Share Juneteenth events hosted by Black communities. Donate to Black-led organizations like the NCCP and local bail funds, and never monetize the day with hollow corporate gestures. Money talks. Support Black businesses beyond June. Buy from Black-owned bookstores, restaurants, and artists. Tip generously. If you're hosting a cookout, stock up on Black-owned brands. Keep the energy all year round. Confront family and friends. Yes, that uncle who says slavery was so long ago. After you throat punch him in the face, arm yourself with the facts, the 13th Amendment's loophole, redlining, modern-day policing, and refuse to let racist jokes slide. Discomfort is the price of progress. Push for systemic change. Hosting Juneteenth isn't enough. Demand your workplace recognize it as a paid holiday. Lobby for reparations in your city. Vote for policies that address racial wealth gaps, not just performative diversity training. Protect Black joy. Juneteenth isn't just about trauma. It's barbecue, music, and resilience. If you're invited to a celebration, come humbly. Don't police tone or ask Black folks to educate you. Just pass whatever they give you and say thank you. Stand up, literally. If you hear All Lives Matter or Why Don't We Have White History Month, interrupt. Respond with Black liberation benefits everyone, or because every month is White History Month. Silence equals complicity. Honor the LGBTQ plus intersection. Marsha P. Johnson was a Black and trans person. Celebrate Juneteenth by defending Black trans lives. Donate to mutual aid funds. Counter turf rhetoric. And never let pride be whitewashed. Reflect on privilege. Ask, how does my whiteness shield me? Do I benefit from inequalities? Then act. Divest from the racial system, banks funding private prisons, and reinvest in Black futures. You know, I was looking at this today as I was walking a local, I would say, historic place. It's the Mount Hope Cemetery in Rochester, New York. And I came up to Susan B. Anthony's grave. And for many, many years, I think as many people, I recognized her as a woman who fought for the women's right to vote and equality. And you never think of, and we absolutely should always think of, but her stance on people of color, and especially even women of color, we'll get back to you. We will come after we get it. We don't want to upset the cart. And I had to think, what does this mean? What is the lasting effect of this? You know, we're at a place without all of us, it's none of us. And so we have to look at these things and say, what is the privilege that I have? And where can I bring it? Where can I sit? How can I help? Commit beyond June. Juneteenth isn't a checkbox, it's a reminder. Liberation is daily work. Pledge one tangible action, mentoring, auditing school curricula, or joining a racial justice organization, and stick to it. Because allyship isn't confetti, it's concrete. So white folks, what's our next move? If this feels overwhelming, good. Now channel your discomfort into doing better. And then ask, why now? Because finally isn't soon enough. Until next time, please stay unveiled and stay unapologetic and never stop fighting for the world that we all deserve.